It's the end of the world as we know it and feel spiritual. Everything gonna spirit all right. We on the spiritness. All right, Shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites. Come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, aka America, with art to be destroyed according to the Holy Bible. But as you can see, the sun's behind me, so I'm gonna face the east. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Salakia. I want to say call Halayim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Harakach Wadash. The water y'all Bahashem Yahawashi for correcting me. I want to say double honors to the apostles and elders of Gadala Rakayim, which is Great Millstone in Lashuan Tahar, where I learned this truth from and who rule well. Salutations to the Bakiyar, the elect, the 144,000. That's 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel consist of these so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous of America. 144,000 being the governing body within the 1/3. The rest of the 1/3 comprises of elect men, women, and children. Shalom to the Israelites scattered due to the diaspora and also the triangular trade. So all people come looking like different ethnicities, having various complexions. So this is not a black thing. We're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're just Hebrew Israelites. Shalom to those that died in this truth. It says the dead should be raised up first. Those that will be accompanying Yahawashi on his return, including our king, King Mashah, who is King David. And as always, it's an honor and privilege, honor and blessing to continue to do this work. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi Ba'ashem Harakach Wadash for answering my prayers and permitting me to do such. Baba Kashah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi Ba'ashem Harakach Wadash allowed us to be an edifying camp to at least one member of the elect. Baby, I'm back. Yeah, because I pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi to allow me to come out here twice this week, and hopefully, he answers my prayer for next week, and to be consistent throughout the week as far as putting up videos, so the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi for allowing me to be in your presence. I haven't been in Great Millstone for, 13 years, and the things that I've been through, the only reason and the only way I could have ever got through them was through Yahawashi, man, which I always say that I'm never out here by myself. I got my angels, the angels that guard me and watch over me, also the Mawaf Alahaya watching over me, and it's Yahawashi's mercy that kept me as I fell into his hands, which I'm always going to do, and that's what I have always done, but hey, this is it. My Michael Jackson voice. Yeah, we at the end, baby. And I'll be amiss if I don't take this camp to glorify Yahawashi, man. The greatest. And I could honestly attest to that. I could honestly say that through my trials and tribulations in which he helped me get through. I can honestly say that through the prayers that he has answered, and it's a hearty sincere with the utmost sincerity my intent to glorify Yahawashi Wins no matter what a nigga fucking says, man. No matter what the consequence. You know? But I'll be amiss not to say, and also the title of this camp, you know, is going to be Yahawashi Wins. You know? Not America, not Israel, not Iran, not North Korea, not China, not Japan, not Russia, not the UK and Europe, but Yahawashi wins. And if Yahawashi wins, that means Yasha Allah wins, man. And there's nothing these motherfuckers could do about it, man. Right? So the first precept I'm gonna get to is the book of Zephaniah. And hopefully this camp is edifying. I prayed double prayer, you know, that this camp will be edifying and hopefully more edifying than yesterday's. You know, and I pray that yesterday's camp was also edifying. That's the reason why I do it, for the edification. Hold on, shit. Power mode. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me." So we're instructed to wait upon Yahawashi Wins, man. And now that we see, which we've always seen, because we've been deeply involved in our love of Yahawashi, being watchmen, you know, and being moved in the spirit, right? We see that his words are coming to pass as he says, and he has made good that he's not a man that he shall lie, man. He's made good on everything. So when he says for us to wait, that's exactly what we're gonna do, man. We ain't gonna, well, I can only speak for myself. I don't have the intent. Well, let me not lie, man. Let me not lie. I want to beat these motherfuckers down. I want to do, you know, some 37 mighty man type of feats and gain those accolades. You know, I want to be involved in the war, right? I want to beat these Edomites down to a pulp. You know, even when I just came and left the gym, there was a tiny hat that strutted in there. Man, I wanted to throw his ass, you know, over the ledge, man. You know, I wanted to, you know, which I don't know why it is. Yahawashi won't let me have a gun for shit or a fucking knife. But I wanted to stack up weapons and, you know, be involved in the so-called war that's about to transpire, man. But one thing that's been conflicting me in the spirit, that's why I said I'm not gonna lie, you know, is obedience. Right? Yahawashi instructed us to wait upon him. And the spirit has been vibrating the point that even our King Masha, who is King David, you know, this is twice that he wasn't allowed to see, you know, I guess you could say the promised land. You know? The first with Moses, because that was King David in the reincarnation, if you could receive it. You know, the second was King David not being allowed to build the temple. You know, Yahawashi had to do it. And then even in these times, King Masha is not with us right now, man. He's gonna be here momentarily though. You know, and what was the factors that disqualified him. It was that his hands were bloody, man. So despite those demons that urge to so-called get revenge, to, go out here and fight as in the days of old, man. Those thoughts, are constantly being rebuked because the scriptures say to wait upon him, man. So we're going to wait upon Yahawashi Wins, man. Just as you read in Judges in chapter 5, verse 11, and you got especially the nigger woman that plants it all over her bathrooms. When you go to their house or their apartment, we're gonna trust in Yahawashi Wins. We're gonna trust in the Lord, right? Let me get that real quick. Real quick, this is Judges chapter 5, verse 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers. Now those archers are dealing with these nations that are going to surround America and shoot their nuclear missiles on this place, man. And then when you go into the prophetic scriptures, even NATO and the EU are going to turn against America and shoot their nuclear missiles on this place, man. And what these people fail to realize is that this whole Israel, which is the least of the flock, drawing them out, which is America, to do what? To attack Iran. They don't understand that's prophetic. That's in the Bible for it to happen. For these nations to be gathered together for the battle of Harmageddon, to fight Yahawashi, man, who wins. So that's what we out here fighting for. Well, at least some of us. A lot of you scared to lose your life, man. So you're fighting to be saved, man. Me, on the other hand, I'm fighting not to be a failure in the eyesight of Yahawashi and to die as he, gave up his life for us to return the favor, man. In hopes for his name to be glorified, that there's men that are willing to give their lives for Yahawashi, man. And hopefully throughout my walk, especially not being in Great Millstone and all the hell that I've been through, I hope that he sees that. And I can't say that he doesn't, because, when I pray for certain things, they get answered. It says in the places of drawing water. Now that drawing water represents slavery, man. What's the precept to that is, I believe that in the time of the it was one group of people, I forget the exact group of people, but they were going to be made hewers of stone and drawers of water, to be in our presence, basically. They were put into servitude. So this is our servitude, America, the house of bondage, which is an allegory for Egypt, which Egypt is a Greek word, man, because that land was conquered by Alexander, a so-called white man, an Edomite. Also, as I'm continuing to read, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh. So we're here rehearsing the righteous acts, man, to the best of our abilities. Now, are we going to be basically judged by the law? The law's not, or us keeping it, is not what's going to save us. What's going to save us is faith in Yahawashi, man. And if you have faith in something and you believe in something, you know, your determination is to be as close as a carbon copy as you can, man. So naturally, you're gonna follow the ways of what you actually believe in, man. Case in point, look at the nigga Crip Mac, man. He actually believes in his crippin', man. You know, he actually wholeheartedly, he believes in his set, 55th Street. You know, to the point where it's what's coming out of his mouth, because that's what's in his heart. 5-5. You know, on career. All that bullshit, right? So that's how we are dealing with Yahawashi Wins. We know that, you know, the law's not going to save us, man. And that also keeps us honest when we go off. We know that we're nothing but filthy rags. We know that we need a physician, a savior. We need Yahawashi, you know, to deliver us from these chains of darkness. Right? It says, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Yasha'Allah, among each other, right? You know, you have to apply these scriptures in your daily life. This is all mechanics. You know, I want to learn how to fight better, so I want to be self-taught. And the first thing I want to do is start with the basics, the foundation. Fucking Beelzebub, man. So I want to work on footwork. Main thing, starting with footwork. I want a strong foundation with footwork, because that's the foundation. That's where your power drives from, man, and that twitch muscle. You know? So this is what this is building for the kingdom, man. Us rehearsing the law, statutes, and commandments is what's building us for the kingdom of heaven, man. This is a rehearsal. It says, then shall the people of Yahweh go down to the gates. But going back to Zephaniah, as we already have established, we're going to wait upon Yahawashi Wins. Because, I mean, really, what can we fucking do, man? You know? Just say we did kill someone, right? And that individual's dead, their blood is on the ground, and their spirit goes back to the spirit world, man. And they complain onto Yahawashi Wins, and in our mind, we might think that they was a heathen or an Edomite. But they was an Israelite, man. You know? Unless, you know, we get those that spiritual powers. You know, and of course, we're gonna bring judgment onto, you know, certain individuals, you know, when we're moved with that spiritual power. But to outright be involved with the multitude to do wickedness, that's not what the scriptures inform us to do, man. We're just merely the press. As you watch certain movies like Civil War, you know, the press were had a very important job, man. They had to report on what was going on. They had to bring about the news. That's why they wanted to go get interviews from the president in the movie. And it was a very dangerous job. It was a straight course, a very difficult one, man. And that's where we're at. We're just press, man. You know, the most that the press have is maybe a bulletproof vest that says press. And our equivalent to that bulletproof vest is the angels, man, watching over us, man. Point blank period, man. You know, if you don't believe that the angels is going to help you and preserve you, then they was never helping you or preserving you, because you would have got all types of spiritual revelations, and you would have got all types of confirmations. You know that the Heavenly Father has you in his favor, man. And then even if Yahawashi doesn't, you're comfortable with that. You're already fully submitted in your mind to say that whatever it is, let his will be done, whether it be good or evil, man. And pray that, you know, he directs your paths in the path of righteousness. It says, this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey, which the prey is these heathen nations, man. Starting with, you know, the nation of Edom, which is these so-called white people, man. You know? It says, for my determination is to gather the nations. So this is what his focus is, man. Because determination is like a synonymous or a synonym to the word focus. He's focused on bringing these nations together in combat so they can fight each other. And while they're all gathered together, he's going to destroy them in one lick. Before the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth, nations shall learn war no more. So this is it. Before I, you know, turn the camera on, I know it's early in the morning, but they said just waiting for confirmation, just like you had to wait for confirmation to make sure that they actually killed the Ayatollah. But rumor has it is, you know, Iran, the IRGC hit them motherfuckers, the Abraham Lincoln, the aircraft carrier with 4 ballistic missiles, man. So what you could expect tomorrow is a reaction to see what the market is going to do, to see what gas prices is going to do. Then you got to go to the Congress and Senate, and they got to grant this asshole war powers, man. They're all, you know, pennies, you know, in a bunch that they didn't get, you know, the opportunity to, you know, vote for war powers, man. You know, so that's what they're going to do in the coming weeks. They're going to vote for war powers. You're going to see Russia. You might see North Korea. North Korea already said that they're going to help Iran. That's going to start the war with South Korea. It's just going to be a domino effect. Because this is it. This is the end, man. So World War III is going to be going on simultaneously when they push this RFID microchip, man. Because they want to quell the violence. They want to quell the chaos, which a lot of you are going to die before they even push the chip, man. People ain't going to want to pay $15 to $30 a gallon tomorrow when that gas goes up 20 to 25%, man. You know, they're not going to want to pay everything else that goes up in consequence. And then the stock market is going to react. And the stock market just may crash, which they already have this all planned out. That's why they're merging into a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, man. And to plug you into the Internet of all things by forcing you through, you know, the fear of not being able to buy or sell with a microchip, which a lot of you motherfuckers already got a microchip, man. That's why nothing ever good happens to you, because the angels have you marked for death. There's angels all around us watching every move, man. All of our sins, everything that's in our fucking thoughts. The Heavenly Father is marking people for death as we speak. Look what happened in Iran. Those people get all bent out of shape about women and children. The Most High just killed over 120 girls at a girls' school in Iran, dropped bombs and missiles on them, man. And that shit is coming here to America, man, because all they need is Russia, North Korea, China to say, okay, we're going to enter in and we're going to defend Iran, and they got missiles that can reach over here, man. which Russia has prophesied to lead a company of nations to surround America and shoot all their nuclear arsenal on this place. So all you people are living on borrowed time, man. Any day it could be your last motherfucking day, man. And we've been teaching you this thing, starting with the apostles and elders, for over since 1969? When they lied and said that they went to the moon but can't get past the Van Allen belt? Which NASA, when you go into the Hebrew, means deception. They deceived all you people, having you believe in all that Disney shit. So all you niggas do is believe in Disney and what they put on TV, man. There's gonna be a famine here in America. They just said they cut off the EBT for you people in Vegas. So how you gonna eat? You get you get a pack of 3 New York steaks, that's like $50. Ground beef is like 40 to $50 for 8 pounds. That shit's gonna go into the hundreds. Straight up. I was watching a video with the brothers in Dallas. They were talking about how there's a scarcity in water in Texas, despite you seeing this mass immigration toward it, man. Because all these other states are failing. That's where the prophecy which says they shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man. See, these people ain't prepared for what is coming down the pipe. They don't understand what's going on, man. They're being moved by the spiritual demon Satan through so-called Jesus Christ. And that bullshit Christianity that came out of the false prophet, which is the Vatican. Right? It says to pour upon them my indignation. So the Most High is gathering these countries, these nations, because the Most High, he deals with nations, for World War III. And then within World War III, there's going to be a battle in the Levant, in the Saudi Arabia area, where he's going to destroy them all, man. And there's nothing you ain't nothing you could war plan for. These motherfuckers move like they got a magical force field, man. I'm waiting to see it. So when these MFers are fighting each other, that's when Yahawashi is going to crack those clouds, man. Anytime after they make a microchip mandatory worldwide, and that can happen as soon as tomorrow, man. This Passover is going to be very important, man. And I'm thankful and I'm blessed that the Most High is putting it in my mind to look for it and to keep it. It says, even all my fierce anger. So the way he's coming, he's not coming as a man, he's coming as an angelical force with the angels, which the angels are in the so-called UFOs, but the so-called white man, he wants you to believe that the aliens are our enemies, man. And the whole time he's the enemy. He's the enemy to all creation. If it ain't Cuba, it's gonna be Venezuela. If it ain't Venezuela, it's gonna be Mexico. If it ain't Mexico, he done fucked up all the nations, man. Every single last one of them. Every single nation has a story to tell about the so-called white man who was Esau according to the Holy Bible, man. Every single nation. And they don't tell you on their mainstream media that America killed 4.5 million people since 9/11. That's 4.5 million people whose blood shed in wickedness, man. Why? Because they want the oil. Why? Because they want the opium fields. Why? Because they want those resources. Why? Because they want to expand to greater Israel. Why? Because they want America so, they can subjugate the indigenous and steal their land and steal their culture and history and make them adopt to some pseudo culture that they stole and gave back to us. that was ours in the first place. Which when you go back into the history of Rome, when they were calling us the Israelites Christians, Christians was synonymous to being called a terrorist. And now due to Newspeak, it's coined as a good thing, man. It says, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right, so he's going to punish you nations, man. He's going to mass exterminate you people. There's going to be famine. There's going to be pestilences, diseases. People are going to be losing their mind. People are going to lose their money. Financial destruction. You people are going to lose your jobs. They already got the robots set up, man. They're 20 to 30 years, 40 years in advance than what you see on TV. They got the judge's job already. They got the lawyer's job already. They're gonna have the cop's job already because they got drones and they're gonna have robots patrolling the streets, as they already do. You know, it's not gonna take much to bring about this new world order, man. This great reset, which this reset is really Yahawashi's reset, because he's about to establish the kingdom on earth, but first he has to destroy all these nations. So he's putting it in their minds from them to, you know, gather themselves, all themselves together in that Middle East, which really is, you know, it was split to Asia Major and Asia Minor. But continuing, it says, for then will I turn to my people of pure language, which that's the Lashawan Tahar. You know, Tahar, you know, meaning pure, you know, which nomen omen, you know, name is destiny. Just as, you know, my original name was Mayaka Allah, which is my middle name, until the Spirit led me to change it to Azimawaf, which Azimawaf, for you niggas that don't have no reading comprehension, means that whoever's name with that name is going to be strong till death, strong unto death, meaning they ain't going to give up, man. And that's the reason why you see me out here today, man. You got to put two and two together. Some of you just ain't spiritual. Or maybe you just got a vendetta against me. You know? So, you know, going back to Apostle Tahar is one, I believe, one of the elect, man. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but me and him, I see a lot of similarities in me that I have observed over the years in him. And we've been through, you know, when he tells his story, we've been through similar stories before we came into this truth, man. You know? And I know you know, in my hearts of hearts that man is a man that is willing to die just like I am ready to die for Yahawashi, man. And I can't say that about everyone that I met in this truth, man. You know, especially those that, you know, think that someone's wasting their time if they're being moved to come out here in the spirit of Yahawashi to do the same things that they do. It says that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh. So this name is only reserved for the elect, man. It's for members only. Yeah, some of you know the name, but that name, you know, there ain't no power for you with that name when you use it. Your prayers don't get answered. That's why you believe in madness, man. You don't believe in the microchip being the mark of the beast, man. You know, you didn't believe that there was going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, man, which we're in a time of Jacob's trouble. You didn't believe that there was going to be World War III, man. You didn't believe that, you know, Yahawashi is only dealing with his people, the nation of Israel, man. You people don't believe none of that, man. You don't believe the truth. because the truth is not in you, man. It wasn't given to you from the foundation of the world, man. Those that are going to be delivered from America were selected from the foundation of the world, therefore they're elected to be delivered, man, through the mercies of Yahawashi Wins, man. But you other people, you're going to die, man. You're going to die grievous deaths, man. So going back to AI, key words in the Lashawan Kodash, which means the holy language, the word Yahweh, or the name Yahweh, means he is or he exists. The word Gawayim, meaning nations, heathen, which is plural. Etymology overlay, gather the nations equals deliberate judicial assembly. This is a court scene, and we're out here reading out the sentence before the judgment, which that judgment is going to be nuclear fire, man. And America is going to be a sacrifice, and you people are going to be the animals that get sacrificed, man. The bestial animals, because you follow after the ways of Satan, man. AI commentary. This is the core World War III blueprint. Yahweh himself is orchestrating the global conflict to burn the whole system. It's not man losing control. It's the Most High taking control openly. And we can see this, man. These Edomites are rejoicing for joy because they're slaughtering another nation, man. Because it's in their spirit to murder, to steal, to lie, to deceive. That's what the Most High, how he created them to be, man. To exhibit those certain wicked characteristics, man, and attributes. You know, so they're ecstatic. You know? But what is going to be the end for them? Complete destruction. America being annihilated from the east to the west coast, man. This is a chess move. This is a equivalent to check. You know, that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has moved against you Edomites, man. Because, you know, it might not have been Iran planning this thing to go down the way it went down, but damn sure it was Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, and I have to humble myself a little bit more because, you know, when I think about it, it's kind of cheesy, man. It's kind of cheesy. Like that was it. That was the least of the flock drawing them out. That didn't take much. But then, you know, this devil moves upon his impulses, man. You know, so even though it was cheesy, it was the perfect way for this devil to make that scripture come to pass. Right? This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. It's the Gentiles represent these heathen nations. Prepare war. So now they've been preparing war, but now they're about to initiate and escalate this war, man. It says, wake up the mighty men, all the men that were created to be warriors and soldiers. And as you can see, not everybody's meant to be a soldier, man. Just like when King Leonidas told Epheretes, not all of us are meant to be soldiers because it's based upon your lot. Your lot determines what you're going to be in life, man. And it just so happens that no matter what I do, I have to always come back to right here because my lot is to be a prophet, man. A prophet that is saying the right words to the best of their ability, man. You know? It says, let them come up. It's like it says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords. So the Most High, he's been working this for a minute. Because nations used to be more geared toward agriculture agriculture-based economy. Selling goods and importing, exporting, so on and so forth. But at the turn of I guess they call the century, they started to develop factories, man, and railroads and steamboats and airplanes and train planes and automobiles. Which therefore allowed them to have the material and the resources and the technology and knowledge to build their war machines to what you see in this day, man. And here in America, basically it seems like it's just business as usual. But that's good, because it's supposed to come as a thief in the night. It's supposed to catch these assholes off guard, man. Just like when they catch a predator, man, a child predator, they all surprised and shit. They thought they was about to get their rocks off, and oops, there's Charles Hanson. Or Chris Hansen, whatever the fuck his name is. It says, in your pruning hooks and the spears, let the weak say I am strong. And how are these once deemed weak nations saying that they're strong? By possessing a nuclear missile, man. Now, whether Iran wanted a nuclear missile or not, this damn devil, a member, a descendant of the tribe of Amalek, Benjamin Netanyahu, he's been saying that they've been working on the missiles since the 80s, man. Because they've been having and trying to implement this plan for decades, man, to take over the world, man. And they're not going to stop until they do it. They're not going to fair negotiate with no one. They were in the middle of negotiations for the second time. Then they attacked and killed all the leadership, and tried to kill the leadership the last time, man, which, hey, the Most High, he wanted that nigga to go, man. The Most High, he gonna set up somebody else, but he wanted that nigga to go. Because how could you be so stupid, man? So that's another plot. That's another plot in the movie. The Most High is showing you that he controls the mind of men. It says, let the weak say I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, so all these heathen nations, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither calls thy mighty ones, which are the angels, the messengers, that travel in clouds, which are the vehicles, which you people of this world call so-called UFOs or UAPs. Those vehicles that could travel at 13 miles an hour and make a turn like it ain't nothing. Or massive ships that travel at 126,000 miles an hour, man. Yahawashi is soon to make his presence known with his army, as he is the Lord of Sabaoth. It says, O Yahweh, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahawashi. For there will I sit to judge. And how is he going to judge these people? He's going to judge them by killing them. All the heathen round about. So going to key words, the word for war, kara, to fight, to devastate, man. So these nations are going to be devastated, man. He's going to really beat them down to the ground, man. The word for judge, shapat, to judge, govern, execute, sentence. And the ultimate execution of that sentence is going to be by nuclear fire, man. Nuclear fire and the weapon, I guess you could say interdimensional weaponry, because you can't really equate it to what you see in this world. You know, but the interdimensional weaponry, the spiritual weaponry that is going to be used is going to be a part of that sentence too, that execution of their sentencing. Etymology overlay, wake up the mighty men, Yahweh stirs their pride, and that's exactly, you know, the spirit that he put on these damn devils, man. He got some very arrogant, filled with pride, thinking that they'll never be taken down. You know, when they're basically a new thing in the earth, man. Their civilization started with the Greeks, the Edomite Greeks, man, because Greece was a multi-state, multinational, you know, civilization, man, that these damn devils stole from the Etruscans, man. And then it said that they were the Greece, or the Greeks. Just as they did with Rome. They stole Rome from the Japhetic people, man. Just as they did with America. They stole America from the Israelites of the Bible, man. And now, Yahawashi, the Lord of Sabaoth, is coming to lay judgment, man. Right? Etymology overlay. Again, wake up the mighty men equals Yahweh stirs their pride so he can crush it. So the Most High is about to crush their pride, man. Real quick precept, and we know, going to Proverbs, that pride goeth before destruction, man. This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. It said, pride goeth before destruction. You know, so people are very proud before they're destroyed, or before they're humiliated, or before they're humbled, man. And now you got a child sex predator in the Oval Office, you know, that drinks adrenochrome for sport, you know, running the show. So that makes all you pieces of shit aided in the bedding of a child sex predator, man. You know, so it already is a bad light, man. It's already on the left-hand side. And the left-hand side, the evil side, never wins, despite you damn devils thinking that you're the good guys. You never been the good guys, man. That's all been a lie. That's been a facade in the imaginary world, man. Like the same shit that you put on these television screens, like Disney and the Hollywood, man. The magic. It says in a haughty spirit before a fall. So once you see one of these aircraft carriers get sunk into the bottom of the Indian Ocean, you're going to start seeing the pride of these damn devils go down. They already blasted naval bases. They said they hit 27 U.S. bases, which is all prophetic, man. It's all in the scriptures that they were going to do such. So prophecy is coming to pass, man. His word is not going out void. Assholes. AI commentary, this is the mobilization order for World War III. The nations think they're calling the shots, but the text says he sits to judge courtroom over the battlefield, man. So the Most High is controlling the battlefield. He's controlling this war. He's using the Israelis to lead you Americans to your mutual destruction. It's all in the scriptures, man. The Most High is fed up with the rape, robbery, and murder that you so-called white people have been committing ever since you crawled out those caves, man. But you had 2 stints, and they were fairly recent, where you were living in the caves of wild beasts, man. You know, you lived in the Caucasus Mountain region, where you get the term Caucasian, which means cave dweller, and you lived in Petra, you know, where Esau dwelled in Jordan, man. You know, going to Isaiah, this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which is America, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Lift ye up a banner, which is, the banner represents this truth, man. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. what you are going to need in these times and to be delivered, man. And so, see, these people ain't going to know what the fuck is going on come tomorrow, because they getting in that boy's asshole right now, man, with no grease. And of course they're going to downplay, you know, a lot of the shit because of Western propaganda. You know, but when you go into it, they getting in the motherfuckers' asses out there in the Middle East, man. Iran is not fucking a Venezuela or a Cuba, man. There's a lot of soldiers that have been put to death already, man. But they want you to believe, oh, we have total victory. We lost no one, and you know, it was a precision. Man, you used 30 bombs just to kill one MFer that has a succession of leadership behind him, man. Just like the ICG, whatever that cartel, the New Generation cartel, Jalisco. They already got a new leader, man, already, man. People have generational hatred for you damn devils, man. And all you dumb motherfuckers that are on the other side of the fence, you just got Stockholm Syndrome, man. You're cool with the one that's been putting his foot deep in your ass this whole time, man. You cool with that. To the point where you have love and affection toward him, man. You cool with that. It says, lift up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, which is the elect. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger. Because basically what we've been doing by preaching his word, we've been chanting this mother effer down, man. And now the judgment is coming. The Most High said, okay, that measure of judgment, that prophecy is fulfilled. Next one. And here we are. You know, now the next prophecy is them pushing the mark of the beast. Which that's going to happen during the chaos, man. There's going to be terrorist attacks, sleeper cells. Cities like this one, they're going to have events that are going to take place all throughout America, to the point where they're just gonna say martial law, man. Which that could happen as soon as this week, depending on if they grant Donald Trump the War Powers Act, man, or war powers. You know? It says, I have also called my mighty ones, which are the angels, for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, which are the nuclear missiles, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation, because Yahweh's spirit is going to be in the fire of those nuclear missiles to destroy the whole land, which is singular. That land is dealing with America, man, and also Israel's going to get hit. It says, howl ye, which means sob, cry, scream, right? It says, for the day Yahweh is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So we're in the day of Yahawashi Wins, man. So the end of this day is going to be destruction, man. America is going to be no more. You people that dwell here are all going to be burnt up, man. You're going to die in that nuclear fire. Lashawan Kodash key words. The word host, Yahweh Sabaoth, Lord of armies, man. Armies, military forces. Etymology overlay, mustereth equals to number, arrange, draft. He's the true, and the he is Yahweh, true general, not no General Gehenna, but he's the true general behind every troop movement. Get that right, troop. AI commentary, World War III is not out of control. It's perfectly ordered by Yahweh as a setup for Yahawashi's interest, man. Entrance where? Into this dimension, man. The fourth dimension. This is Isaiah chapter 34. Verse 1, it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hearken and Slakia, to hear and hearken. Ye people, let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it." And what are you people hearkening, and what are you people instructed to hear? The words of the prophets, man, which we've been out here, man. And even now, you have people walking by and they ain't saying shit, because that's, that's my prayers that I prayed, man. I said, Baba Kashaya, how about send y'all outside, please? I don't want to deal with no demons and shit. That's what I'll be praying on. But despite that, the Most High is blocking them from the truth. Because surely if there was a man that the Most High desired to open their mind, they would have inquired. And the Most High would have put the spirit on me to be apt to teach. But the doors of mercy is closed and shut, bro. Which, hey, the elect are already sealed, so what's the point of even explaining shit to these assholes? I'm only out here to comfort the elect, to edify the elect. These people are basking in their judgment. Verse 2, it says, "For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies." So all nations are going to get it, man. All these armies are going to get it, man. They're all going to be destroyed. This is just us. This is just for us to sit back and watch the show. It's a good movie. It's a blockbuster. It's action-packed. It'll make you cry. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you holler. It says, "And his fury upon all their armies, he have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter." So that's foreshadowing, man. It says he has utterly destroyed them. So all these nations and their armies are going to be destroyed, man. And that includes your beloved America. You people are on borrowed time for real now. You can't even say it's going to be 5 or 10 or 15, 20 years. Man, it's already here. It's been here, but you just wasn't privy to it, man. Verse 3 says, "Their slain also shall be cast out." They're going to be bulldozing niggas' bodies out the way, man. Before, we touch down, starting with Yahawashi and the elect, and put them into labor to mark the dead and bury the dead, man. It says, "And their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved." Why is that? Because of nuclear energy. "And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." That's nuclear detonations, man. "And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree." Right. And also that's how the missiles angle to earth, man, as if it was a fig falling off its leaf or off its branch. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven." And that sword is dealing with those missiles. "Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea," which is the Greek way of saying Edom, which Basra, which is the capital of Edom modern day right now, is America, man. So it's going to come upon America, man. and upon the people of my curse, which is the Edomites, because they're the only nation that's not promised any mercy. You so-called white people, man, who started calling yourself white in 1681 in Virginia due to the Bacon rebellions. It says also, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, the sword of Yahweh was filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of the rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Basra, which is America, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which, like I said, is synonymous to America, as Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. It says, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance. So we're in the day of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua's vengeance, man. And it's not going to go the way that you so-called white people here in America think it's going to go. And I bet you're going to be looking around for, people to be on your side and comfort you. But you done fucked up and fucked over all these nations, man. So these nations are going to want your head, man. And then you're going to be going to war with a lot of these nations. You're going to have to go to war with China. So all the Chinese that live in America, you're going to be targeting them just as you did in World War II. The Japanese as well. Depending on what side they're going to be on, which according to prophecy, they're going to be against you too. The Most High is going to put the mind on these nations to war against you damn devils, man. Just like you seen in the movie Avatar. It was the whole damn planet fighting against them damn Edomites, man. Right? It says, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses, the year of paybacks. Most High is about to compensate you damn devils, man, for all the shit that you've done. And then after your country is destroyed and wiped away, you're going to come back in your next life as a slave for 1,000 years. And then after that 1,000 years is up, you're going to be exterminated in fire, man. It says, for the controversy of Zion, which means monument. Going back to Lashawan Kodash, key words, anger, af, nostril, anger, wrath. Their armies, Tazabayim, their hosts, their forces. So their hosts, their forces are going to be destroyed. It's going to be reduced to remnants. There's going to be remnants of nations, man. And then when they detonate a nuclear bomb, that's going to cause nuclear winter over the northern hemisphere, man. Etymology overlay, all nations, all their armies equals no neutral states, no safe blocks, universal judgment. AI commentary, this is the global scope. Yahawashi isn't just checking one empire, he's ending the whole power structure. So that's what the Heavenly Father is doing. He's about to end this whole power structure, man. The times of the Gentiles are about to be fulfilled, man. The whole time you people believed in the damn devil. You followed the devil. This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. It says, why do the heathen rage? And the people imagine a vain thing. Real quick, the word heathen, Gawayim again, which means nations, pluralized, anointed, Mashak, anointed one, Messiah. Which, let me continue, it says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against, where you get the Messiah or the anointed one, which Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahawashi, or against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Basically eliminate their control. For he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahawashi shall have them in derision and ridicule and mockery, man. And you can see the setup right now. Big bad USA humbled. And that's exactly what prophecy says is going to happen. They're going to be quiet in their rulership, man. The remainder of it. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. He's tearing them bases up, man. He's allowing those angels to hit their targets, to guide those missiles and hit their targets, man. On both sides. 6. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion, which that's Yahawashi, underneath Yahawashi, King David. I will declare the decree. Yahweh has said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Because Yahawashi is the first and the last spirit created by Yahweh. 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. Right, since we're joint heirs, Yahawashi has promised these heathen nations as his inheritance, so therefore they're going to be our inheritance. And you know, the spirit, man, but she was older though, man, but there's this Edomite woman that was looking at me at the gym, you know. Got on the little treadmill beside me, was stretching, you know how women stretch like a cat, you know how a cat stretches, you know, when they, you know, get ready to get they thing pushed in. That's how she was stretching on that little treadmill right beside me when I was looking at her in my peripheral, but, you know, I'm not focused on that, man. That's a distraction. You know, I even got this, my other demon talking about I'm homeless. What else you say? I don't have no phone. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. What that got to do with me? You know? You don't listen to me. You don't respect me enough to be listening to me. You want to do your own shit. And each and every time, everything I told you not to do, you do it and you end up in a predicament. Therefore, to me, I look at you as a liability, man. You know? And then after I cuss their ass out and tell them what time of day it is, I thank Yahawashi Wins for giving me the discernment to dodge a bullet, basically, man. Because a lot of these women are going to get you niggas killed in these times, man, because they don't know how to act. And, hey, from a person that's been with, and I'm talking about penetration, not, you know, playing slap boxing shit, well over 100 women, you know, these women ain't shit. It don't oppress you anymore, man. You're not captivated by these women no more, man, because it's all the same, and it's all inorganic. I remember when I was young, man, you could feel each and every last wall, and it be tight, and it have bounce back. You know, these bitches ain't got no snap back. I don't give, no matter what, how much. You could pour a whole gallon of 100% raw apple cider vinegar on that bitch and shit, and it's still gonna be looking like beef jerky, man. And then the disease that is protruding out of her, man. You know? So you gotta watch out for these women, man. These women are gonna get you killed. And these women that I'm talking about, they're not ugly, man. Their bodies ain't beat. They're not ugly. You know? They're not under no, they ain't under no fives. I'll say that. And I don't fuck with bitches that got hella makeup. So these is bitches with no makeup, man. You have to have the masculinity to put your foot down in these times, or these bitches are gonna get you killed. These women are the most dangerous, man. They're deceptive. That's how they survive. So you gotta be moved with the spirit, man. And if you are not sure, cast a lot in Yahawashi Wins' name, man. And honor that lot. Not because it don't land in your fucking favor, but honor it even when it doesn't land on what you want it to land on, man. Because you never know. But continuing, it says, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. So these nations are going to be broken with a rod of iron by the nation of Yasharahla, which is your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the people you see on this sign. And I had this sign for 13 years. I never changed it up. Now, I, tidied it up a little bit and made it more legible, but I have had this wood for 13 years, man. And if need be, I'm willing to die on this wood, this stick. And I ain't just saying that just to say it. A lot of you just talk just to be talking, man, just to sound good, man. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody, man, but Yahawashi Wins. And neither do you. Verse 9, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O you kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, which is to do this work, lest he be angry and ye perish from the way, which is this truth, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that push their trust in him. And I have to put my trust in him. I don't got a choice, man. And that's the beauty of being out here solo dolo. It forces you to build your faith, man. It forces you. It forces you to lean on Yahawashi Wins, man. This forces you. You don't have a choice. You know? You don't have nobody waking your ass up in the morning telling you to get to camp. You don't have nobody instructing you to do videos. You have to believe in Yahawashi Wins and hope and pray that he puts the spirit on you to do these things, man. Your steps have to be directed. And he's going to direct your steps when all hell breaks loose. A lot of you're going to be directed to your destruction. And if I'm directed to my destruction, Salakia, onto Yahawashi, I failed. I'd rather not be a failure than be delivered, man. You know, which might go over a lot of you people's heads, and you might be putting words in my mouth, right? My fear of failure supersedes my will to be taken up into a chariot and be delivered, man. Me failing Yahawashi supersedes that. I don't want to fail Yahawashi, man. So I have to pray. I have to have faith. I have to keep coming out here. I have to keep doing videos. I have to, if necessary, which I've done, take some time off to examine myself to make sure I'm in the truth. Because when demons come on me, I don't have no brother to call or lean on. I have to lean on Yahawashi. I have to cast lots and ask. I have to pray and ask. You know? And through him, I'm right here. What is it? March 1st, 2026 at 8:52. He led me right here, man. All praise and glory unto Yahawashi, man. It says, blessed are all they that put their trust in him. So you got to put your trust in Yahawashi, man. Only you could do that, man. You can't ride the curtail of another brother's faith, man. You know, you would have had to have been building that personal relationship, man. You know? It says, AI commentary, this is the transition verse. From raging nations to installed king. Yahawashi is that king with the rod of iron. You know, and real soon they're going to be telling us we can't utter that name no more. Hey, I'll say fuck them, man. Just like I told that nigga in Fresno, where were you? I've been doing the work. And he been looking at me like I ain't been doing the work. I told that motherfucker straight in his face with a straight face. Right in his eyes, I said, this is all I got. And it's the truth. Yahawashi is all I got, man. Even this, like I told you a couple weeks back, even this car I got. You know, it was something that was in my mind and something I wanted. And somebody bought it for me through Yahawashi. Paid off. No, I don't have no car payment, man. I ain't spend no $250,000. I ain't spend shit. It's all blessing by and through Yahawashi. You know? So Yahawashi is going to rule these nations with a rod of iron. So all you people that say that these nations are going to be saved, you need to clarify what they're going to be saved for. Which ain't none of them going to make it on these ships. But you're going to have nations that are going to be, you know, left, the remnants of them, right? That are going to be left throughout the world, that are going to be saved, meaning they're not going to be killed, but they're going to be saved to be the first crop of slaves. This is, I'm going to go to Daniel. No, if my phone's about to die too. So I'm going to go ahead and just end it on, shit. Don't really want to end it, but I'll just go ahead and end it in a little bit. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 22. Slakia, verse 44. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. It says, and in the days of these kings, which is dealing with the system and setup that we have right now, dealing with the toes, right? The 10 toes, 5 were weak and 5 were strong. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which is Yasha, which shall never be destroyed. So the kingdom of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans is never going to be destroyed. You're going to reign for eternity. And that's what these so-called white people are jealous of. They don't want us to reign over them again, man. And I don't blame them. You got to put yourself in their shoes too. You be fighting like hell too to keep your power going, man. Ain't what that one comedian said? He said, wee! You know? You be fighting like hell to keep this shindig going, man. Keep the party going. So you can't blame them. Just like they can't blame us for being determined, as Jacob was holding the heel of Esau, to pull his ass out and down from his power, man. It says, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So Yasha is going to be the sole victors, man. They're going to be the sole victors. And they're the ones that are next to rule. Going to keywords in the Lashawan Kadas, Malakwath, kingdom, dominion, reign, etymology overlay, setup equals establish, erect, permanently, no regime change, no coup, no election cycle. AI commentary, World War III is the collapse phase of the statue. Yahawashi's kingdom is the stone that smashes and then fills the earth. You know? But I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. And either I'll do and finish this. I got about about 10 more scriptures. So I'll go ahead and finish this either next week or I might do a sit down, depending on, you know, the motion of this week, you know, because I know it's going to be a busy week as far as prophecy, you know. So with that, I hope at least one brother of the elect was edified. Keep trusting in Yahawashi with all your heart, man. You know, and with that, I'm going to say shalom. Oh, man.